Well, the LIV Tour makes its stop in Chicago, just part of the journey of LIV and its unique style and its popularity. And anybody that listens to me knows that I have supported the LIV Tour from the beginning. I never loved the way the PGA Tour, which was officially a charity, treated some of its golfers. And I had said for years that Greg Norman's and Phil Mickelson's had verbally come out and said they were disappointed. And so when they left, I supported them and still do. Kevin Na also made that decision. And, you know, when I defended LIV golfers, one of the things I said was, these guys grew up wanting to be on the PGA Tour. They dreamt of the US Open and Pebble Beach and the Masters. So this was a hard decision. A lot of people looked at the dollars and said, well, it's easy. No, when you have a dream and you land it, it's hard to separate you from that dream. Do you remember, Kevin, the day, the week, the car ride, when you and your family decided, I'm going to leave the PGA Tour? And do you remember the emotional moment of that, the epiphany?
Yes, I do. It wasn't an easy decision. I thought about it for weeks. I just discussed it with my team, my family, and even, I even had a talk with Jay Monahan before I left. Like I literally called him, with the paper when I had the offer and I had the contract, and I weighed a bunch of options. But at the time, there were some of the things that some of the players would wanted to see change in the PGA Tour, the direction the PGA Tour wanted to go, and none of those things were happening. And when the league was forming, and the offers were going out, and it was a great opportunity for me because I played the PGA Tour for 19 years, and
Right.
I loved it. I loved every minute of it, and I was grateful to be there. I enjoyed it. It was a great platform for me to play, and I'm grateful and thankful. But when this opportunity came along to play this team style with individual team, play around the world, and at the same time, have some security. Not that I didn't with the PGA Tour. I was pretty successful out there as well, but it felt like it was a new challenge, and it was exciting, and a lot of the great names of the game of the golf were joining, and I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be a part of this new adventure, and that's the reason why I made the jump.
Yeah, and I think, it's something to remember. The word globalization. You grew up in California, of Korean descent. You grew up in California. You're a
Yes.
global citizen to some degree. My mom's from England. We all are, or descendants of it. But we see this with all businesses. And I know as I've aged and experienced travel, I love the idea I love the idea of traveling. I love the idea. I've moved to 6 different companies.
Wow.
When you go to the Live Tour, was there anxiety? Were there nerves? Take me to your first 6 months. It's like a new job for you.
Yeah, it was different. The biggest change I felt was the music was so easy for me. I really enjoy the music on the golf course. That part I have no issues with. What was a bit of a transition, and it took me a little bit to get adjusted to, was the shotgun start. Starting on a random hole. There's a flow of that golf course, right? You start on one
Right.
or 10, and you know where you're at. Like some of the holes, the stretch you got to take advantage of. Some of the holes you kind of have to be, you want pars are good. That kind of disappeared, and so that part was a bit awkward in the beginning. I got used to it now. But besides that, it was cool to travel around the world and to see, like, look, I played the Open, I played in Korea, Asia, but to go around the world and all these golf fans come out and say, to come root for you, come watch you, and asking people in the crowd, say, hey, Kevin, I want to see you walk in a putt, like things like that. It was pretty cool to go different corners of the world and to play in front of the crowd, and for them to see, the big names of golf like Brooks, DJ, Phil, all these guys, Bryson, for them to see those guys in different parts of the world, where before, when everybody played the PGA Tour, it was very rare that we all got together and played in different parts of the world. So I think that was a very cool experience, and we can see that the fans are welcoming us in different parts of the world and enjoying us watching, and it's a rewarding feeling.
I think they're initially and like any change in life, there's animosity. People don't like change. In America,
No.
40% of Americans never live outside of the area code they were born in. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. That is crazy.
So when there was change, I remember going on the air and saying, yeah, there's going to be some animosity.
Yeah.
There's going to be some emotion with it. Do you think that's dissipated over the last year, that initial shock is now, well, I can watch DeChambeau at this tournament, I can watch Kevin Na here, is that there's a realization that this is what's happening in all business?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, you know, like you said, people are not comfortable with change. And when we were making this jump, you know, the PGA Tour, a lot of the media, you know, they said it's not going to happen. They're going to fold in 6 months, 4 months. You know, it's never going to last. But the league has proven that we're sticking around. And you know, and when our players, you know, Brooks won a major, Bryson won a major, when you know, playing LIV, and these guys are still playing well in major championships and showing good performance and watching us grow, they're starting to realize that we're not going anywhere, we're sticking around. And at the same time, when the PGA Tour is asking for investment from PIF, then, you know, all those, you know, attacks towards the players that made the first jump it's been silenced a little bit.
Yeah. So I have to ask you, I told my wife, you have 3 kids, you're married, 3 kids. So family and golf, I felt LIV gave you an opportunity perhaps to golf a little less, more time with family. And my take is if people are happier at home, they're more productive people. It's just a better way to live.
Yes.
That, and by the way, before you left the LIV Tour, PGA golfers today had it easier than PGA golfers 40 years ago. So,
Yes.
I mean, everything changes. Tell me a course that maybe isn't talked about a lot globally that you love. If I said, Kevin, give me your favorite course that I would never guess and why.
Hong Kong Golf Club. Amazing. Hong Kong Golf Club. It's been around forever. It's an old style golf course. I think it's an amazing golf course. Every time I go there, I think the city is amazing. I think the golf course is amazing. I think the fans are amazing. Obviously, Korea, first time playing it this year. The Jack Nicklaus Golf Club is a pretty good golf course, but I'm a little biased because of my Korean descent. And I love going to these Asian countries and playing. You know, me obviously being Asian, you know, the Asian fans are gonna, you know, feel like a bit more of a home crowd. And speaking of families, you know, in the past few years, we've taken. It's hard to travel with 3 kids internationally, but we've taken 1 or 2, and at times at 3, to these different countries, and I was able to show my kids different parts of the world at a young age, and I think that's very, very cool, and for them to, you know, to learn different cultures, to experience, and I think it really opens their eyes to the world, right? And we really enjoy that experience. And honestly, like I'll be honest, like I've never been happier at home. My golf game honestly hasn't been that great. I feel like in the last few rounds, something has clicked, and I think I'm about to go on a good run of golf. But look, at home, I'm home more often for my kids. I get to travel the world with my family. Looking back at it now, I think it was a great decision. I've talked about this with my wife, and when we go back 2.5, 3 years ago, if we go back, if we had a time machine, would we make the same decision? And the answer is yes.
Nothing says summer like long days, clutch plays, and firing off a few bets, all with DraftKings Sportsbook. As the season heats up, so do the bets. And DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered. Home run props, odds boosts, whether you're chasing dingers, jumping in mid-game bets are great. There's always action to be had. So if you've never bet on baseball before, it's really easy. Pick a guy to hit a home run. Hammer some live odds mid-game, or you can just ride with your team and hope for the best. No spreadsheets, just vibes and dingers. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers, you know the rule. Bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. So just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Please use the code. You got to use this code to get the deal. Colin, C-O-L-I-N. You get $150. Bonus bets, betting just 5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. I've always believed that unless you're a golfer, and I've started playing a lot in the last 3 years, as I've got a little bit more time, I've got a lot more gray hair. And I think when the grayer your hair gets, the more golf grabs into me. And I've always felt an underrated part of golf is that when you guys are playing in the summer in parts of the globe, it's incredibly hot and it's midday and it's day after day after day. Has there been an event on the PGA or the LIV Tour where you thought to yourself, I hope people realize I'm a real athlete here because I could fall apart. I mean, there are moments watching you guys and I'm like, I could see Phil Mickelson. I'm like, Phil looks tired.
Yeah.
Do you think that's an underrated part of even your LIV Tour? You go to Hong Kong. A lot of you're playing in sometimes the steamiest of weather.
Oh yeah, I mean Singapore is extremely hot. I remember PGA Tour days we played in Malaysia, extremely hot. Dallas this year we played in,
Oh, Dallas was rough.
Oh, it was rough. And we travel. We went from Saudi Arabia to Australia. We went from Mexico City to Seoul. I mean, and literally we have a 20-hour travel day. And as soon as we land, if it's during the day in the morning, we go straight to the golf course, we start practicing. That's not easy to do. And your time zones are all off. But we're on this, we get up in the morning, we spend all day on the golf course, we train, we practice. I mean, we may not look like an athlete, but we are.
I've always loved Phil Mickelson, and I read I don't think there's a book about him. I don't think he loves the book, but I loved him more when I read the book because he's so unapologetically Phil Mickelson. And there was a point in his life he probably ate a little too much. He was a little more obnoxious with tour members. Mickelson's a character, but what I love about him, he leans into it. Now you're getting the older, more mature, wiser Phil Mickelson. Have you watched him change? I guess. Have you seen the change in Phil in the last 20 years when you've been around him ever, played with him, played against him? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen skinny Phil, fat Phil, gambling Phil, drinking Phil. Look, he's been nothing but great to me. The first time I played with him, I was 21 years old. We played in the final group. That's the first time I played with him. The final group at Phoenix Open. He ended up winning the tournament. I finished second. And he's been nothing but great to him. You can always go to him, ask for any advice, whether it's golf game, life, anything you want. He would give you his time, his sincerity. He's been nothing but great. I think he's the same way right now to all the younger kids out here. I think he's a great leader. Not obviously, you can't please everybody, but a lot of the people out here respect him, and I personally respect him, and I'm a big fan of Phil, and I think what he's done for the game of golf, we have to be thankful for.
And I also think sometimes, I say this all the time, I was not mature enough at 22, 23 to be like a professional quarterback in the NFL, the leader of $1 billion franchise. You guys are not on a team necessarily, although you are the Ironheads on the LIV Tour now. But Bryson DeChambeau is a fascinating guy. I didn't love him when he came out. I didn't like him. The 13 pieces of bacon, the 9 protein shakes. I'm like, this feels like he's selling me something. It's too obnoxious. He pivoted over the last 2 years. I find him incredibly likable now. And I go back to, well, he was young. He was a good-looking, big testosterone. Have you noticed his personality? He feels a little humbled, a little wiser, but I find him now incredibly likable, and I didn't 4 years ago. Well, LIV Golf is redefining how golf is experienced and enjoyed, supercharging the sport across the globe with innovations and team competition. A really electrifying event and an atmosphere that welcomes fans from all backgrounds. It's the F1 of golf, a truly unique event. Stars come out for a celebration of sport, entertainment, and culture played in some of the world's most iconic venues. So in addition to world-class golf, you get a festival off the course, incredible food, live music, and a fan village packed with games and challenges for young and old. It's all on the line when LIV Golf comes to Chicago's Bolingbrook Golf Club. I'll be there August 8th through the 10th. Players will be fighting for places at both ends of the individual standings, while the U.S. players have another chance to push for Ryder Cup selections. That's big too. So it's a chance to see 54 of the game's best players at Bolingbrook Golf Club. Of course, that's open to the public. I'll be there. This marks another major step forward in LIV Golf's commitment to build a more inclusive, accessible game of golf. It's a can't miss experience. Grab your tickets at livegolf.com. That's LIV Golf.com. Or if you can't make it this time, you can follow every shot live and exclusively on Fox Sports.
I always joke to him, it's like, look, I was nice to you before you became a big star and before you were likable. I always liked him from day one. I remember talking to him before when he wasn't playing so good, and when he was doing the side straddle, and I would come talk to him about on the putting green and what his theories were. And I played with him in a QBE team play, Shark Shootout. What year was this? I can't even remember. 2017 or 18, whatever it was. We teamed up. We finished third. And I got to know him pretty well. Then how he played the game and what his, all these calculations that he made. And it was fascinating. I mean, he would calculate putts off the green from what the fairways were running at stimp, and then from the green on to the hole, that how many feet that is, and that stamped. And he would, with the slope, and he would say this putt's playing 47 feet, and he did it and hit it like perfect speed or make it. And it was incredible. But I think people got to know him and watched him mature and grow up and became this likable, interesting character. And we need more characters like that in the golf game, whether you like him or not. I think most people do like him. He's an interesting guy, and what he's done with his body and his game, the transformation that he's gone through, it's incredible. And he's an incredibly talented player. I always enjoy my conversations with him. But look, when you're 21, 22 and you're a millionaire and, you think you have the world by its, it's a little bit of a growing.
Sure.
And I bet I was the same way when I was younger. I turned pro at 17 and got on the tour when I was 20, when you're 20 but you need a little bit of that to make it. So I think if you kind of look at that and get to understand the guy and get to understand the players, I mean, we're much better than football and other sports. I mean, we're much more mature and more well behaved, I'd say. But I think we watched him grow up.
Yeah, you went straight to the pros at 17 years old.
Yeah.
Finally, there's a legendary piece of footage. I'm talking to Kevin Na about you and Tiger Woods when your speed of play after you hit the putt, and he does the same thing. Tiger. There's only two athletes in my lifetime, Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan, that literally changed how I watch TV. I would cancel stuff on a Sunday to watch Tiger Woods. Yeah. Do you think it wasn't obviously pre-internet, but it was pre-TikTok. Golf those tournaments with Tiger, it just felt like otherworldly. You think golf will ever have that again?
Yeah, I think so. I think Bryson is as closest to the excitement. I think Rory's pretty exciting. I think Rahm's pretty exciting, and Joaquin's becoming that player as well. I think there's different characters of the game that bring that kind of energy. Obviously, Tiger was, his dominating in his, his power, and he's blowing the field away. And, even though he's 4 back with 9 to play, you're like, oh, he's going to win. He's going to go on this crazy run. And I remember watching as a kid, and being a fan of Tiger. It's incredible. But I think there are characters that can follow his footsteps or become maybe not that Tiger Woods icon level, but, up close to that level. And we can have 3 or 4 guys kind of equal Tiger. You know what I mean? But sure. I think golf has become more entertaining and more exciting than before. Back in 90s, I grew up watching golf, in the 90s, and, I became a pro in the early 2000s, and I played with these guys on the senior tour that's playing now. And I think golf has become more entertaining. There's more characters of the game. You got, Bryson that bombs in, cuts corners. You got Rory also, Scotty Scheffler getting arrested. I think it's entertaining. We have some John Daly, the former John Daly's of the guys right now. Look, I think golf is in a good place, except this division. I think once we find a way to get the players back together more often, I think golf has got to go up another level.
Yeah, I hope so. Kevin Na, a pleasure to talk to you. I love your stories. I'll be rooting for you, and thank you so much for taking time.
Thanks, Colin. Thanks for having me on.
Sorry to interrupt this great video, but please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you. Now back to the video.